Yeah.
What are you gonna...
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Joseph Cavagnaro. 10 years ago, on this day, it was on this day, I recorded, well, not really recorded, but uploaded my first rail fanning video, and it was at this exact spot 10 years ago. Okay, so to start off the 10th anniversary celebrations, these are my top 10 favorite rail fanning moments. Number 10. Every time I caught Amtrak 713 on the Empire Corridor. I mean, I really did enjoy making the Great New York Isekai, but if I had to choose one, then I guess it would be peak skill. That one was the most fun to film because afterwards I went from Spring Valley all the way down to Middletown, New Jersey. Not to be confused with Middletown, New York. Number 9, Avelia Liberty in Newark, Delaware. I like this one mainly because of the horn. Have a listen. Number 8, NS Flying By Bound Brook. This one was back in 2016 as an ALP 45 DP takes off, or I think it's an ALP 45 DP. It was. What comes flying by is a Norfolk Southern train, and it was going really fast, and it had a cool horn coming in as well. Number 7, GP40-2 towing an ALP 46. This was like the first time I ever saw an equipment move since I had some time before a summer camp and I went to film in Summit and got the Jeep towing an ALP. Number 6, NJT and Amtrak meet at Metro Park. This is one in 2016. An NJ Transit train leaves Metro Park and then an express train flies by. You can see in frame an ACS 64 arrive into the frame. I pan back to the front of the train, and as soon as the NJT Express clears the frame, the regional goes flying by. Number 5, CSX chase on the Mohawk subdivision. This was when I began the Amsterdam crew. So, yeah, we were just on our way back to Amsterdam Station to see the Empire Service train pull in, and we just so happened to see a CSX train going by in the same direction. So we went all the way to Amsterdam Station, though, and I was filming the whole way. Number 4, Look at Scotting. I'm not sure which one I liked better, the one at Philadelphia or the one in Albany. Both are really great shots, but I really like the one in Albany because I found out what happened to Cotting. Turns out her nose got dinged and she hit a tree, so yeah, she hit a tree and they towed her back to Chicago and then towed her to Rensselaer Diesel Works. Number 3, Morristown and Erie on the Morris and Essex line. This is one I really like because it's a Morristown and Erie train on the Morris and Essex line, and it was carrying like 2 of those flat center beam flat cars, which was really cool. Number 2, 3 Norfolk Southern trains around the Horseshoe Curve. So first of all, so there's a train honking its horn by Horseshoe Curve. There's one on one side, and then on the other side comes a Norfolk Southern train with 1074 trailing. So that's really cool. And then a third train comes into frame, and that one has a really cool horn as well. hear a bell. Could it be Anzu Takizawa? Yes! And number one for my best rail fanning moment of all time, Anzu Takizawa at Washington, D.C. Like, you could almost think of it. After failing to get it the first try, had I got it first try, had I been to the station in time, I would have actually got it. And then our train, our train was before 301 the day, because 301 was on the Floridian, and the Floridian was playing catch up with the Carolinian. So after we get into DC and do the engine swap, just as I'm about to head back, I hear the bells and just click record, and then you know the rest. It was Anzu Takizawa. Anzu is who I call Amtrak 301, the Day 1 50th Anniversary Heritage Unit, and to say I was excited was an understatement. I mean, you would be too if you saw a heritage unit that you were trying to catch for about a year. Okay, so the next one is the top 10 canceled and scrapped projects. So these are projects that I've been thinking about but never actually made it to the big screen. So let's start off with something that actually did make it to the big screen yet was canceled. So the Spaghetti Idol series, Love Live Sunset, Omnia Academy, and Stupid Star, those were actual SMG4 parodies I had. However, due to Nintendo removing items from the Gmod shop and just me not really having fun making the Gmod videos, I decided to scrap those. But if anyone else wants to make an SMG4 parody of the Spaghetti Idol series, be my guest. I'm not going to stop you, but yeah, that's the whole reason why I stopped doing them, is because I wasn't having fun making the series. And that's the thing. If you're not having fun making a series, that can totally ruin what you make. So, and then the ninth thing is second channel where I discuss behind the scenes of my YouTube channel. It was going to be called Joseph Cavagnaro 2, and I had the idea around 2016, but ultimately I was like, you know what, nobody's going to want to watch this. I mean, personally though, having one channel is just quite enough for me. I came to the conclusion that I really don't need more social media, so I don't need another YouTube channels. But yeah, also in 2020, I have an unboxing Nozomi Tojo no Brand Girls. I was going to make a video on that, however, I didn't, because at the time I was just getting into Love Live. I mean, I didn't go full... I mean, I was getting into Love Live, yes, but I mean, it was really cool, though, because, yeah, that was the first time buying a Nozomi Tojo figure, and yeah, it wouldn't be until a little bit later that I start making Love Live unboxing videos and stuff on Nezo berries, and that brings me into my next video, unboxing Nozomi Tojo Nezo berries. So yeah, I was going to do it. However, I was going on vacation that day, and that's the rule of thumb I had in mind. I would not upload videos on vacation or when I'm on vacation or when I'm sick. But yeah, I kind of shied away from that when I had my own backlog. So yeah, that's another thing that didn't get released. And then there was another video. I was thinking about bringing back the Caillou Gets Grounded series with some Plotagon videos. However, the reason why I didn't bring it back was because I didn't have enough time. So yeah, Caillou goes to see NNW 611 and gets grounded. That one was on the table, and so is Caillou commits arson and gets grounded. So disclaimer: do not commit arson. But yeah, these were yeah, that's another reason why I did not release those videos, and because I didn't even make them to begin with. Um, so wanted to I also had a series idea. This one isn't quite much canceled. It's only canceled because I don't have the time anymore. But around 2024, I thought of making the Harlem Line Globetrotters. So this was gonna be a series where I would go around the train stations on the Harlem Line, maybe review them. I mean, for example, yeah, I would probably head out to a station, which would be, first of all, I would start my journey in White Plains and then continue either north or south. But yeah, I really don't have. I could possibly bring it back. However, yeah, it's not that yeah, it wasn't that in I didn't think it would be that interesting if I did the same thing a few times. Same with the Great Connecticut Isekai. I never found like a cool name for that. For example, I did Sunshine on the Hudson because that was the Hudson line. For the Harlem line, I had the idea of Harlem Line Globetrotters. However, for Connecticut, I had a few names in mind. For some examples are, um, That's So New Haven. I also had New Rochelle Sailors or New Haven Sailors. However, like I said, Connecticut has so many stations, and it would be a long series. So yeah, I mean, I could always do it, but right now I've kind of taken it back to that. And yeah, those were my 10 canceled and scrapped projects. And as a bit of a bonus, so another canceled and scrapped project I wanted to bring to everyone's attention was the Great Vermont Isekai. It would work kind of similar to the Great New York Isekai. However, the reason why it was canceled is because I would A, have to live in Vermont, or more specifically Burlington, Vermont. So I could have a train going out of Burlington and into Burlington. Not only that, but I would also have to have prior knowledge of Amtrak 713 being in Burlington on the Ethan Allen Express. And Amtrak sometimes swaps out their locomotives, so sometimes 713 would be on the train and sometimes 713 would be off the train. So since I don't live in Vermont, it would be a long time thing, and given how many Amtrak stations are in Vermont, yeah, there's Burlington, Ferrisburg, Verness, Middlebury, Rutland, and Castleton, Vermont. So all those stations, not only that, I would also, yeah, have to have prior knowledge of 713 being on the Ethan Allen Express, which I don't, and have to live in Vermont, which I don't either. So, yeah. Also, Burlington doesn't have a ticket machine. Hope you enjoyed this little behind the scenes ramble of just me rambling on. So, now let's move on to everything I did this month. Or actually everything I did through the past year, 2025 to now. So February, I caught CSX 1853, the New York Central Heritage Unit. In March, the Croton Harmon remake was initially not part of the Sunshine on the Hudson series, but I coincidentally just so happened to see Yoshiko trailing on one of the Empire Service trains. I posted the first part of Sunshine on the Hudson, the finale, Fallen Angel in Yonkers. I rode South Coast Rail, which was the first few rail survival guides I pushed priority to for the sake of them getting out in a timely manner. In April, the April Fool's Day special was the Joseph's Declassified Rail Survival Guide. The joke is that I boarded from Newark instead of Philadelphia. So, yeah, that was something. I also got to see Franklin Square open to the public, and about 2 weeks later, I got to meet some transit fans and even made a cameo in a Classy Whale video and an appearance in a Miles in Transit thumbnail and possibly video, I think. But yeah, I also went to Castle Point Anime Convention, and well, I did get to see Eminita, but honestly, I liked meeting ProZD more. Despite him being normal, I think he's a pretty chill dude, like the majority of people in Connecticut. During the Castle Point Anime Convention, I was at a maid cafe experience and won third place in a game of Moi Moi Nya, and thus I got to go to Augusta. In May, I went to Garden State Anime Fest. I caught both Amtrak Crayola Heritage units, and on May 15th, I went to Kingsland thinking that that would be the last day I would get to see Kingsland because our mindset was if the BLET doesn't come to agreement before June 8th, which was the release date of the new Lyndhurst station, turns out I met other people there, and it was just a fun night. In June, on the 7th, I went to Kingsland again, this time for actually the final time. Let me explain why I think it was a stupid idea to close Kingsland. We're paying more for less stations, losing a direct connection to Hackensack, Newark, and New York. I also tested out the theory that it would make trains faster. It did not. On the 8th, I went to the new Lyndhurst station for the first time, so yeah, that was pretty cool. On the 9th, although I didn't post about it on social media, I went to a Norfolk Southern training event where I got to go inside the cab of SD60E number 911. It was so cool. So, and at the end of the event, we got free Conrail hazmat hats. On the 21st, which was Awkward's finale live, I made a video explaining why Awkward's is the greatest school idol group in Love Live. I also filmed a cool equipment move at a Secaucus Junction. In July, on July the 6th, I premiered Sunshine on the Hudson, the finale, Fallen Angel in Moynihan Hall. The reason why I premiered it on the 6th is because on the 13th, I premiered a compilation of both Yonkers, New York, and New York, Penn. And then I also went to Amsterdam again, and it was really cool. I also made a trip report on the Kinwood line in an attempt to raise awareness for the ongoing SEPTA budget crisis. In August, I filmed another Amsterdam crew video and filmed at WWE SummerSlam, like filming the trains that were going through Secaucus there. I also it was so fun because I got to take my pick with a wrestling belt and that said New Jersey Transit Transportation Champions. But anyway, in August, I'm continuing on. I filmed the first Avelia Liberty from DC to Boston, and it was with another user from the Miles in Transit Discord named Chelsea. So in September, I premiered Capital Stations, Montpelier, Berlin, Vermont, and yes, I did take creative liberties from Ryan Trahan. Over the summer, Ryan Trahan traveled across the United States on a 50 States in 50 Days series, and it definitely inspired the Montpelier video. I was originally going to air it on the 12th, however, I wanted more time to edit, so I pushed it back to the 24th, and coincidentally, there was a Nintendo Direct that day. Another thing that happened in September is during one time when I was working at a gig, we were in the town of Voorhees. I was initially going to take the 451. However, the 451 doesn't run on weekends. So what I did was I took my bike with me to work, and then from there biked from the job site in Voorhees to a town in Lindenwold. And then in Lindenwold, oh no, wait, that's the name of the station, Lindenwold. So I biked from Voorhees to Lindenwold and then took a Paco train from Lindenwold all the way out to 15th, 16th, and Locust, and then walked all the way to Suburban Station. And then from Suburban, I took a train to Marion. I went back to Overbrook. I took a bus from Overbrook to the trolley stop. And then from there, I rode back to City Hall on the, I think it was the, I think it might have been the T1, but I took the T1 back to City Hall, and then took the L to 8th and Market. And then here's the funny part: I took the B3 from 8th and Market to Chinatown. Not that it's faster, but because Chinatown is not too far from Franklin Square, and I had a day pass, so I took the B3 from 8th and Market to Chinatown so I could ride the Patco from Franklin Square and prove that it is useful. I also went to the museum for a day, and some traditions never change. As I was driven to Denville. In October, I made a cameo in a YouTube video from the YouTuber How We Get Around. I also filmed the Wilmington and Western, so that's... Oh yeah, and the festival. That was really fun too. In November, I hit 900 subscribers. Thank you all so much. Yeah, that was kind of like the highlight for November. But in December, for the first time in the history of Rail Survival Guide series, I did a crossover with Adam and Kevin from the How We Get Around Discord. So yeah, it was really cool collabing with them. Hope they liked collabing with me or something. But anyway, in on December 11th, I watched the Game Awards. I mean, well, it was after work, so yeah. Anyway, so when I was reviewing the best mobile game award, I see Uma Musume and the Game Award goes to Uma Musume Pretty Derby. But here's the ice cream on the cake. The Erie Heritage Unit was on 24X the next morning, and I actually got to film 24X with Simbali Rudolph trailing in the middle. And then I also saw TM Opera O, which was really cool. I also 100% completed the heavy rail lines, the Wilmington, Newark, and Trenton line. In January, I saw 4202 in action. So before we get to the shoutouts, I wanted to reveal my new logo. In a community poll I posted my 10th anniversary is a month away. Which PFP would best reflect it? So, as of the recording, I don't see it changing anytime soon, but the first one, this one right here, got 70% of the votes. U10 got 10% of the votes. How funny. 10th. I have the one that says 10 years, and that got 10 votes. And then the Space Force one got 20% of the votes. So, JC10 wins. Okay, so this is the part of the video where I give my special shoutouts. So, yeah, you know how these 10th anniversary videos go. So, thank you to Classy Whale for that one video where we were filming at Franklin Square and stuff. That was really cool. I had such a blast making it with you. And I also want to thank you for the dinner recommendation. I found a local restaurant in the Chinatown area of Philadelphia, and they just so happen to serve takoyaki there. So, thanks to Caleb, I was able to get some takoyaki. Thank you to How We Get Around, Steve from the YouTube channel How We Get Around, for using my clip of the Avelia Liberty in his Avelia Liberty video. I'm really excited for what the future has in store. So yeah, I was initially part of the How We Get Around Discord to see what date Franklin Square is, but now that I realize just how great of a community he's made, it seems like I guess I'm there in the long run. So yeah, I'll definitely be around there a lot. I also want to thank Kev W172 and Adam W71 for the lovely collab we had on the West Trenton line. I'm glad that we were able to do a collaboration, as I've wanted to do a trip report on the West Trenton line, but never got around to it until well, the filming of it was in August when I filmed it. But I was initially going to release it back in 2024, but things got complicated. Like the footage was supposed to be recorded in 2023 and stuff, and yeah. I also want to thank Metro North Railfan 224. Even if we're not going to Amsterdam as much, I'm still happy we're great friends, and I hope we continue to be such great friends. I also want to thank Railfan Jalen. You were the most paramount part of Sunshine on the Hudson, the finale. I mean, I was initially gonna rec- so my video with you was, I was just initially gonna, we were just gonna be filming at Mountain Ave all day, um but fate had other plans. I ended up going to Moynihan Hall to film Sunshine on the Hudson, the finale. It seems like we both got heritage units on our own, and we got a cool consist together. I also want to thank Miles in Transit for his compliment on my camera, the Sony ZV-1F, which I used to record a lot of everything. Like, yeah, thanks a lot, Miles in Transit. And it was also cool being in the thumbnail of the Franklin Square video. So, yeah. I also want to thank Chelsea the Codfish. We collabed together on the first Avelia Liberty video. That one was really fun. I'm so glad we got to see each other. We also saw each other on the New Bedford and Fall River line off camera, but that was really cool. Thank you, ProZD, for being so chill. Yeah, you're you're quite the chill dude. I also I also really like how you don't how you can give how you give out your autographs for free. That was awesome. Thanks for signing my copy of Animal Crossing New Horizon. Shout out to Jay Bon, who I met at Franklin Square. Yeah. I'm really It's really cool that we met each other there. And yeah, that was such a fun day. The opening day of Franklin Square. I also want to thank you for watching. Honestly, YouTube, it's changed a lot over the years, and some of my favorite creators have gone away, but I'm still here. I'm still standing, as that one Elton John song. Wait, is it Elton John or yeah, yeah, it is an Elton John song that is I'm still standing. Yeah, I'll stop singing now. So, anyway, on to the February 2026 schedule. I only have two amiibo. Well, I've got an amiibo unboxing, and then I have another video. For my Valentine's Day special, it's gonna be Joseph's Declassified Rail Survival Guide, the Paco Speed Line. So, yeah, I recorded it back in April, and now I'm gonna release it on February. So, yeah. Hope you all enjoyed this 10-year anniversary video, and I'll see you all tomorrow.